Shanna. How's your paper coming?
I think it's going okay. I mean, I've got a lot of facts down here and typing it up.
I see. You do have a lot of facts.
Yeah.
Now I'm just looking at this. You did this in Notability. So how are you going to format that to MLA?
Well, can I just click here and hit return after every line to make it double spaced?
Actually, that's going to end up being a lot more work for you. I would suggest putting it into pages so you can format because it has to be double spaced and you have to do indents, and for your works cited page you have to do hanging indents. That's going to be pretty complicated. So we're going to do it in pages. Another thing I'm noticing here is I see a lot of facts, but did you actually write this? Is this your paraphrasing? Or did you copy and paste it?
I copied and pasted.
Okay, that's not what you want to do either. We're going to take this information and put it into your own words so it actually sounds like you. And I'll show you how to do that.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mrs. Carball. At a closer glance, you can see the student's paper clearly doesn't follow MLA format. It's not double-spaced, it doesn't have a heading or a title, and the information in it isn't paraphrased into the student's own words. But from personal experience, you probably know that formatting on your iPad can be pretty tricky. In this video, you'll learn tips and tricks to formatting your paper in MLA format on your iPad. The first thing you'll need to do on your iPad is open the Pages app. Once you are in Pages, open a new blank document. Tap your finger on the screen so that your cursor appears and your keyboard pops up. This will allow you to then click on the paintbrush in the top right corner of your screen. Once you do, choose the tab that says Layout and change your line spacing from 1 to 2. This will double space your document. Once you've double spaced your paper, you need to change your font size. By clicking on the paintbrush in the top right corner, you'll notice that the Style tab immediately appears. From here, you can click on the font, which currently is set at 11-point Helvetica. When you click on the font name, it will give you an option to change the size. You simply need to change it from size 11 to size 12. You are then ready to use your keyboard to type your heading at the top left-hand side of your paper. Make sure to include your name first, followed by your teacher's name, then the course name, and finally the date. This will make your heading complete. You now need to center your cursor on the page. So under that same Style tab where you clicked on the paintbrush, you'll see an option to center your text. This is where you'll place your title. Once you type your title in the center of the page, you'll need to go back up to that paintbrush and click on the left alignment to get your cursor back to the left-hand side to type your paragraphs. Now here's where a lot of us get stuck. How in the world am I supposed to indent my paragraphs? If you notice in the keyboard, there is a tab down here at the left beside your font, and it gives you the option to both indent and to tab. If you hit indent, it will actually indent every single line of your paper. So instead of doing that, we want to click on the tab key. That will help us just indent the first line of the paragraph. Now that we've followed these steps, we are finally ready to type. You can see here on this sample, there's a paragraph already typed in for us, and you can see it properly follows MLA format with the indent at the top left. And now I'm ready to move to my next line. I just want to make sure that I don't skip any extra lines. I'm going to come right down here underneath it. Again, to indent the next paragraph, all I need to do is click on that tab key. Notice in my paragraphs, I've paraphrased my information in my own words, and then I've cited my source in parentheses using an internal citation. That's proper MLA format. Once I'm finished typing my essay, I'm ready to do my works cited. This is typically done at the top of the following page. So I need to scroll down until I get to that point, and then again I need to go up to that paintbrush, choose the center alignment this time, and then I can type in works cited. If you're citing more than one work, it needs to be plural works, and the W and the C in works cited should be capitalized. Then, before I copy and paste any of my cited sources onto the page, I need to choose that left alignment one last time. Now, I had previously cited my sources using EasyBib.com, which allows me to save my sources into Google Docs. So I'm just going to go over to Google Docs and copy my source. I can now paste my cited source into the works cited portion of my document, and it looks like I'm done, right? But wait, I still need to add a hanging indent, which means that my second line needs to be indented under my first. But that's reverse of how we normally do it. So how do I do that? Well, I first need to hit the return key on my keyboard. This will allow the second line to separate from the first. It won't move, but it will now be separate. Now that my second line is technically separate from my first one, all I have to do is hit that tab key. Notice how it indented below my first line. Now, if I hadn't hit the return key first, it wouldn't have worked. The line wouldn't have moved. But by hitting that return key first, then hitting the tab key, I've now got my hanging indent. Now I can simply copy and paste my next source right underneath it. And again, my first line will be all the way here to the left, and my second line of that source will be indented as well. Then you are finally finished.